Okay, I've got some things to show you. I put some clips together from various clips of the Karen Reed trial. And the reason is because there's a particular channel who has uncovered using software from some of the video evidence files that she's downloaded off of Google Files. And she showed exactly how basically how they manipulated the evidence in this case. And I'll put a link in the description. Again, I had started looking at things that was not adding up, and other people were like, yeah, you really need to go check her channel out. And so I did. But I'm looking at things I saw that were being edited from enhanced from the first trial to the second trial. And so I'm going to show some things in this video from various clips to further prove what I've been showing. With the exception of this fence, you see that line there, right there? Look at that line in the top left corner of this screen. It's like a cutout line. I slowed down the video to 0.1, and I saw this is just some strange things, so I just kind of paused this picture, and that doesn't look normal. Like, I don't think you should have an edge cutout looking line. So I thought maybe they had manipulated the fence. Okay. And there's just things about the dash cam scene that I'm going to show you that are not correct. And the thing when they presented this particular dash cam scene to the jury was they were trying to ask Mike Camerano, who was the friend that picked up Kaylee after John was in hospital, and said that, is everything normal? They went out of the way to show John getting out of his car, moving his car around, which was the first scene in this video. And I was like, what is the point of that? And he kept asking, like, is everything look right with this driveway? Does everything look okay? Is this car here? Does this look like where it was? He went to so much detail to try to present to the jury that there's nothing wrong with this scene. Like, working up to the point where he's going to show the dash cam scene, right? Now look at that drift on the tire there. Okay, so there's a bunch of details that I'm going to show you. Mike Camerano comes there. He comes there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Karen is in the hospital. This is the scene that I'm telling you about, that I'm just like, now I did add some light here and I zoomed in so you can see that outline there. It's just weird looking, right? But it looks like there's teeth. It looks like the type of fence that is not consistent with other videos, right? Because everybody's like, yeah, they changed the fence. And I showed different pictures in different videos. Now, what I did previously is I went to videos and I didn't like take the video and put it in Clipchamp, do anything to the video. I just show the video as it was and put the timestamp and a link to that video. Okay, if it was somebody else's video. This is where I'm putting stuff in Clipchamp so I can zoom in, put some light on it, just so I can see the details a little better. So this is a scene where they're moving their cars around, right? And so I think this needs to be submitted to the experts, if you will, to determine whether or not that was manipulated, because the fences in the different clips are not adding up. But it's not just the fences. The basketball hoop gets moved. There's snow up against the garage door. So I'm going to show you, in case for people that didn't watch the trial, I want you to actually see Mike shoveling, and you can hear him shoveling. So there should be no snow. So at 7 in the morning is when he came. This is him when he's getting ready to go out with his friend there. But they went to all this trouble showing them, moving stuff around. And so that cutout line was really weird. That was kind of weird. I don't know what was up with that. I would like somebody to analyze that. See how there's like blue line around it. Anyways, it's just, so when you get to see that, now look out, the basketball hoop is up higher also. When this fence is there that looks like that, the basketball hoop is up higher. And when it's the other fence that doesn't have those teeth, the basketball hoop is lower. Now, do notice, though, where he parks his car. He does park his car even, okay, with the post there. Okay, I don't know what that is on the ground there. All right, so I've shown this scene enough. Now I'm going to, this is him. This is the next morning. John is now deceased. This is Mike. He's going to shovel away the snow from the garage door. And he testified about it, that John hated having snow inside his garage door. Plus, when you drive over here, there should be no snow on that door, guys. This is close to 7 a.m. Okay, right here. He is shoveling this away. This is the second. So you have this garage door here and this garage door here. And I think there was something above on top of the building that kept snow from landing there or whatever. So he shoveled this. So at 8:23, a little over an hour later, why is there snow up against the door? This is the scene. Look at the snow up on the garage door. This is an hour later. Really? And there, look at the snow drift is gone from his tire, and look how far over left from that post his tire is. And the snow shouldn't be up on the door. It didn't snow. There shouldn't, like look at the amount of snow also that he shoveled away from the door. This is an hour after he shoveled snow away from the door. Really? This scene doesn't add up for so many reasons. And the fact that he goes into all this detail about, does this what the driveway look like? Is this where the car was? Is this where his car was? I mean, like, he's just trying to convince the jury that this is a perfect scene. There's nothing wrong with this scene. Because they know in their minds that this is manipulated. I'm sorry, there should not be snow on that garage door at all. And this is 8:23. This is where they did a wellness check. This is John O'Keefe's driveway. She is currently in the hospital. This is before Karen Reed gets out of the hospital. And so this is about a little over an hour after Mike shoveled away the snow. Okay. And so they did some ruse of a wellness check. There's nobody there. Because you saw Mike, he was there. He went to pick up Kaylee. There's nobody at the house. They should know that, right? But anyways, here she is home from the hospital. Look at the bare spot by her car. If it had snowed, that would have filled it in. I mean, you got those bare spots by her car that are still there, right? And there's just no reason. This is, I think, around 9 something. Now look at that basketball hoop. Look where his car is. There's just no reason. Here you go. Okay, so now go check this. I'm going to put the link to her channel again. She used software to analyze exactly how they fixed that taillight. But I don't think she was, I don't know, maybe she did, but I don't think she looked at other things like the fence and stuff. And I would love for her to analyze the dash cam video scene. Wow.
But anyway,
y'all go over there and ask, maybe, I don't know if she can do that or not.
With the diffuser argument really helped them, because no matter
Snow
what
drift,
they did,
see, notice where the basketball hoop is. It's lower.
It didn't work.
And there's straight across on that. And maybe the snow packed in between the teeth, but it would have a scallop shape to it. It wouldn't be straight across.
Where it's really well lit up over here.
Odd things.
This is why I can't think. Why are they showing him moving vehicles around? It's just so nonsense. Like, you're gonna just wear this jury out. Like, what was the point of him, John over here, pulling up his vehicle and then getting in his car and leaving with his friend? Like, what did that even, like, that was so...
John is deceased.
See? He's there to get his daughter.
Right? No reason to have that snow up on that door like that.
So by this time...
This Mike testified. Mike Cameron, he testified.
Nobody's at the house. So at 8:23, when those cops come there,
and went to the house,
right,
to pick up Kaylee. So and notice what he's saying here. When you picked up the daughter, everything's in the same spot, right? Like he's trying to get him to say everything looks okay, everything's in the same spot. Because they knew ahead of time that they were going to present a fixed scene. And so they've got this guy. He doesn't have a clue. Like he just went there and shoveled snow and got his daughter. Like he didn't know what these guys were up to, right? But they used him to say things like everything's in the right spot, right? Mm-hmm.
See what he's doing here? He is pushing the snow
It is so
away
good
from the
that he
door.
shoveled that snow because it actually helps
So
us have a
when
clue
the cops
that
come
they
there
manipulated
about an
the
hour
scene,
later,
right?
see, he clears the door of snow. This is 7 a.m.
Look.
This is at 8:23 a.m.
You guys, and people are
An
saying
hour
stuff
later.
about
Look at all
the
this snow
spoiler
up
on the
against
car
this. So when
and
he
the
was
light
shoveling the
wouldn't
snow
hold its
away
shape
from
if
the
it's
garage door,
completely fractured and stuff. I mean, there's so many things I would love for
that was
Abby
about
to
7
analyze
a.m.
that scene
So
and
this is
see
about an
if there's
hour, a little
anything
over an hour later.
that was,
8:23 a.m.
she
is the
can find
timestamp
that was
that these officers
manufactured.
made.
And
I think I
they
have to
admitted
drive.
enhancements, but they're just acting like there was no. They did argue the defense. I went back and listened to the pretrial hearing, and they did absolutely argue there was a bunch of manipulated stuff, but they didn't use an expert to prove it. So that was kind of the problem because everybody was like, well, why didn't they object? Well, you might want to listen to their pretrial hearings. They tried everything, and it was just, and they spent so much money, millions of dollars, millions for that dream team. So, and um, I just think that if we could just stay together on this. Now, look at this. Look at that right rear on his car. The shape of it. Look at the very tail, like tail bumper, by the left rear car besides the snowdrift is there and it's gone on the scene, the dash cam scene. What happened to the snowdrift? you know? And so it just looks off. And then when you look at it from the dash cam scene, there's just something wrong. But anyways, everybody says that picture is doctored, and I agree with them. And if you see hair, how smooth, why is this just completely straight across? Like, if the snow was packed in between the teeth, if there was teeth there, why wouldn't it have shape to it? Why would it just be straight across? And then what was up with that outline that I showed you earlier? What's that? They really need to get an expert, specifically the FBI, to take these clips and to analyze them. And I think the FBI just has to be convinced that, yeah, like I think really and truly Abby, with what she did and what she showed, you guys, you should just, I'm put a link in the description, go watch her video if you have any doubt. I get it that people were like, I know there's a lot of people that are totally, oh yeah, it was rigged, there's a lot of falsified stuff. But there might be some people that are like, you know, just go watch her video. She'll show you how it was done. And people know that stuff just didn't look right, It just geometrically was just out there. All the OCD people were going, it's like, no, that is not even correct. But this environmental clues, just, it's almost like, if you ever play the game, Find the Differences, look at that basketball hoop, how low it is, right? How come every time that there's a fence scene with teeth, the basketball hoop is up higher? Like, what's up with that, right? And it's the same camera. The camera's not been moved. It's up on the side of the building. It ain't going nowhere. you know, um, and so people were like, well, what can we do? When are they going to do something? Well, I think really and truly, I think a petition would help. But I think you have to give grounds to the FBI. And I think with what Abby has presented, and if there's anybody else out there who can put in some feedback on the technical stuff. And I just want to say thank you for those who have pointed things out. And somebody shouted me out on Abby's channel, so thank you for that. I'm hoping that she would look into, and I do hope she looks into that scene, the scene where John's moving his car around. That video clip where they've got him moving his car around and shining a light on that fence, was that anything altered there, you know? And then also the dash cam scene. If she can just take a look at the dash cam scene, it's technically, it's it's a photo. They zoom in and they show the photo. So how that video went down is they drive to the house, but before they turn into the driveway, they stop and pause the video. And this is when I think Sergeant Barrows was testifying. And so they said, do you recognize that house? No, it was the cop who did the wellness check that was testifying. And there's multiple people that testified about the dash cam scene. The cops who did the wellness check, and then Sergeant Barrow when he zoomed in on that taillight to see if that's what he remembers it looked like, or he tried to. Okay, so when the cop who did the wellness check, they turn the car in, and before they turn in, before you can see the driveway, you can only see the house from the front angle before you turn that sharp, kind of like a sharp turn to get into the driveway. You don't see the driveway yet. You only see the front of the house. And he said, yes, that is such and such address. And then he cuts the file off. And then he opens up a new file, and what you see is the driveway. And I thought that was so odd that he did that. Why wouldn't you just, pause it, identify the house, and just keep on moving? Why would you use a separate file? For obvious reasons. Because the scene is manufactured, and it's, I guess, easier for them to do it that way. And I know there shouldn't be no snow up against that door. And I think I remember, it's been so long ago, when Karen Reed did one of her Dateline, I think it was Dateline interviews, and she said something about the snow in the garage door. And I think that's what she's talking about. Maybe somebody out there that's watching this, maybe you can remember it. Well, this is what she's talking about, what I'm presenting in this video. And you see Mike snowing, pushing that snow, shoveling it away. And he said that John would go crazy if he had snow inside his garage door. And so he just, I don't know, maybe he didn't know at that point that he was passed away. I don't know what he knew. Just that he was in the hospital. He went and picked up Kaylee. And so he's just trying to be nice. And I think it's awesome that he did that. That was sweet. It was very actually thoughtful and sweet of him. And so the fact that he did that is very helpful for today, because that was just some, little details. It's in the details, guys. Details matter so much. So, anyways, I do really appreciate your feedback. I do have profanity filters on my channel, though, because I am family friendly. I only do legal stuff a little bit. But see how that you got his tire lined up with that post. You've got the drift on his tire. And then you've got the basketball hoop that's down lower. Okay? And then now you see this is Karen going to get her stuff. And then you've got this scene here. And the basketball hoop's way up higher. I mean, you just can't. This is the details that's not adding up, guys. And that's why I'm doing this video. And so keep this in prayer. And I would suggest people go to the FBI. They've got Facebook pages. They've got Twitter pages. You know what I'm saying? You can comment and comment and comment. And you can write them, right? But tech people out there, share this. Because I think it's important, because the trolls are acting like there's nothing fishy. How dare people suggest that they've done something to manipulate? Like, they're like really acting like they're victims. Okay? And maybe, actually think about it, maybe some of them are, because maybe not all of them are are even knew that stuff was doctored. You have to consider that. But somebody did, and somebody knew. And that's what the feds need to get to the bottom of. So we gotta stay on it, guys. Please.